It's getting started here today, Jay. I don't know about you, but in Virginia Beach, we got some kind of wintry mix going on. Like we've had snow and we've had some kind of sleet or something, and I think it's raining now. What's happening in Georgia?
Nothing but rain.
Okay, yeah.
And
And
it's no more 70-degree weather, which I was enjoying. Now it's getting cold again. Don't
yeah.
like it.
No, I hear that. My mom sent a picture from the farm and it is covered in snow. So
Uh,
you guys are living it up in warmer weather. Good for you. We're the rest of us are still in February. So yeah, well, we're glad that you've been able to join us today. Whether you're here on live, thank you so much. I think we probably have a couple other folks that pop in at some point. And if you're watching on the recording, thanks for joining us there as well. Just as a reminder of who we are, my name is Mark, and we have Jay, which we already heard from down in balmy Georgia.
yep.
Um, so just to reiterate what we're all about, we're here to help you make disciples. So whether that's in business or ministry or wherever you're placed, that's what SheepFeast is, and that's what the 70 and the Corral Call. We got lots of fun names that we. I'm the king of naming stuff. Um, so if you hang around me enough, you'll get a nickname. So eventually, so that's fun too. But yeah, we want to just be facilitators of what God's put in your hands, whatever way that looks like. And in the discipleship world, we're all, like I said, called to that in some ways, some place, some way. And we at Sheep Feast will try to do our best to facilitate what God has put in your hands. Like I said, Jay, say hello. Little about yourself, maybe.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I just want to piggyback, for lack of better terms, on what Mark was saying. The culture here at Sheep Feast is not your typical 9 to 5. This is all about you. What do you believe that God has placed in your heart to do in business or in ministry, and how can we uh, work together? Like we're facilitators. We want to facilitate your success. That's all we're here to do. It's not about our thing or anything like that. It's all about our different skills and talents, what we bring to the table. So, hello, I'm Dr. J. So, I do have a PhD in theology. I love to learn. So, I actually have an undergraduate in biology, sports medicine, and I have an MBA, and then the doctor of theology. I just love to learn. I love everything about people and business, and that's kind of what I was learning as I went through this journey in school and now transitioning into the business world and ministry. I've helped a lot of different churches and a lot of different denominations. And one thing that I've come to realize, people are people, good, bad, or indifferent. People are people. And I love Mark and all of his names and naming things, and it just keeps it fun. And that's the culture here at Sheep Feast. We want to keep it fun, we want to keep it light, but we're all about discipleship. And as we become more disciplined ourselves, then we can help to disciple others. You're discipling someone whether you know it or not, because people are watching what you do, they're listening to the things that you say, and you're being discipled. So that's a little bit short about me and just a little bit about discipleship. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I'll pass it back over to Mark.
Yay. Did a whiteboard pop up for you guys? All of a sudden I saw a whiteboard.
Yeah, it did in one way.
I don't know. It's all good. Once again, we're glad. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Is this Rosaries? Thank you for being here. That's how I pronounced it. It could be completely wrong. Thank you for being here today. For Jonathan, shout out to Jonathan. He is our scholarship recipient, our very first one. I don't know what Jonathan's up to today, but can you say a quick hello, Jonathan? See if you can say hi. I know he's,
Okay, hello, good day. Good to see you, Mr.
yeah,
Mark. Good to see you, Dr. J.
Good to see
Hello,
you.
everyone.
yeah, awesome.
Hi, this is evening here from Nigeria, West Africa.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I have an assignment. You got to complete your assignment, Jonathan. You got to get in on that pitch channel on the Pitch It and talk about your business and what you're doing in that spice game, right? So don't forget to post that because that's what the we'll take a look at our 70 community here in a second. And of course, the Pitch It channel is for you as whatever you're currently carrying is to post in there and tell everybody what you're up to and see how the community can support on one level or not or another. So Jonathan, so glad you could be here today. And we'll definitely make some time for you to tell us more about your business in the upcoming.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll do that. Thank
Awesome.
you.
So yeah, that's not only an assignment for Jonathan, that goes for anybody. If you got something that if you're not doing anything at all, then that's impressive. I don't know. You got to be doing something. So tell us about it in the Pitch It channel, and we'll be excited to learn more about that.
Okay,
So one
okay,
of the
I'll do
things
that.
that, yes, sir, yes, sir. One of the things I wanted to just reiterate was the facilitators that I mentioned earlier. We aren't the be all and end all of discipleship, and no one else is for that matter. But we are a part of that journey, and we just want to be as faithful to our part as possible. So, yeah, awesome. I did want to go ahead and share a little bit of an encouragement next in our agenda, if you want to call it that. And I did post this on a couple of socials, and so let me pull that up real quick. If you should notice, excuse me, if you, excuse me, I had the frog in the throat. No, hopefully I got rid of it. Let's share this. So it's the Barnabas Briefs. It's another fun name, and but it's all about encouragement. Barnabas, if you have read your Bibles, you know that that name means, I think, son of encouragement. Is that right, Dr. J, theologian?
That's close enough.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, yeah, we got another theologian in here too. All right, so it's in there. It's called Rebuild and Repurpose. This is the encouragement for the day. And I've started calling, I'll probably do this. I don't know how often I'll be able to, but it'll be thoughts from the camera roll. So whenever I have an image or something that I can utilize, it's already on my phone, I'll drop a little story and hopefully some encouragement. And so you see this picture here. This is this stud right here. That's me at about 7 or 8 years old, and a couple of my cousins who I were in, they lived in a different part of the country, and they always would visit, and we had a great time together. We're on the family farm in the what was at one point the dairy barn, and as you can see, it looks like a lot of barns kind of broken down, and to some level it was being used for farm purposes. But the whole point of this story that I share, which you guys can go and read, is that by the time I was at the end of my high school, that barn that we were sitting in looked completely different. I need to get another picture. My mom loved this. I'm not surprised. She said so in the comments there, but it had been completely redone because my parents started a Christian camp, Psalm 23 camp, and that barn became the central hub of a lot of the camp activities that we did. And so we had hundreds and if not thousands of young people come through to help others. That was kind of one of the main focuses of the camp. And so the thought was just like there are things that we have in our lives that maybe we see as broken down or of no use, or they're not really what they used to be, but God can take those and repurpose them, rebuild them, and maybe it'll be much more influential and much better than you ever thought it could have been in the original. Like I said here, you know, when My grandpa Claude started building that barn, I don't know how many years ago. I'm sure he had no idea what would eventually happen there, and seeing all those folks come through and have an impact not only there on that property, but all throughout that region of helping folks. And so the same can be said about what we have, right? So it's just a self-examination of whether it's a gift or a talent, or maybe it's a business we set aside. And I think about Jay Gotti, right? Tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about that, by the way, because that's kind of like that fits right in the story.
sure. Well, I founded a nonprofit back in 2011 called GOTI, which stands for Global Olympic Training Institute, which actually all it means is a gold medal standard for education. And so what we do is we raise funds and we try to partner with local organizations to help people with whatever they have need of. We started out helping kids in rural locations that didn't have access to different leadership programs and things like that. So we actually taught them martial arts, and we also had an after-school program to help them with homework and things like that. And then we had other leadership classes for adults. And so since that time and fast forward until now, we've expanded that scope tremendously because we want to focus on global missions efforts, specifically in developing countries. We want to also focus on education when it comes to science, technology, and engineering and mathematics, or called STEM. And we also want to focus on health and wellness, which I think about Jonathan and his spices, getting back to a more healthier lifestyle, because these are all things that God cares about. And so that's just a little bit about Gotti. Oh, and then we also partner with organizations like SheepFeast and other organizations as well, who have different things that they may want to do as far as scholarships or other efforts to support people who need help. So
That's right. And Jonathan is a scholarship recipient of the, it's all tied together because it's the Dennis and Glenda Rowan scholarship that we run through Gotti to make the what we do available to folks like Jonathan. And or obviously that's one of the things. If you know people that are in developing countries that are starting businesses or getting going, and it's something that we could potentially help them with our scholarship program, please let us know about that and introduce, because we'd love to talk to them and see how we could potentially support them and their calling. And then once again, that's what Sheep Feast is about. It's about coming together as a community, the 70 coming together and finding ways that we could help further what God's put in your hands. And speaking of going further, Dr. J, do you have a discipleship tip for us that you could potentially level us up on?
I do. So this discipleship tip comes from the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 1:11. Don't quote me on that. It's pretty close. But basically, it says, imitate me as I imitate Christ, or follow me as I follow Christ. And so we know that Paul before he was Paul, right? He was a um, very zealous persecutor of the church, very disciplined in his knowledge of the law. And he had an encounter with Jesus, completely changed his life, completely changed his perspective. And he became one of the greatest, if not the greatest, proponents of Jesus to the Gentiles that we've ever seen in history. But Paul could have never said, follow me as I follow Christ, if his lifestyle did not denote a lifestyle of discipline, a lifestyle of love towards Christ and the things of Christ. So I would encourage all of us. We a lot of times we see disciple as something that is only, I guess, relegated to ministry or the church or something, but our very lives belong to God. So I would say if you want to be a better disciple, look at what you do every day. Do you make your bed? Is your house clean? You know, we all have different things that we get busy and the dishes aren't washed or whatever. All of those little things are things that can help us to become better disciples as we depend on God. It's normally the little foxes, right, that spoil the hen house. So it's those little things that we do on a day-to-day basis that can help us become better disciples.
Amen. Amen. Thanks for that wisdom, Dr. J. I wanted to also shout out Luke. Luke, thanks again for being here with us. If you ever want to say anything or tell anybody what you're doing, obviously you can do that anytime. You can interrupt us. I know last week you messaged me and said you didn't want to be uh, interrupting our super cool recording, but we're okay with that. That's for anybody actually. If someone has like something that just pops up and like, oh, what about this or that? We do have a Q&A time, but we don't have to wait for that. It's all good. Um, but I do want to take a look at a specific piece of the farm work today. So last week we just launched out and we talked about the first part, which was feed. And so this next part is what we call lead. And so I'm just going to pop in here real quick and show you a bit of that. And so as you can see here, I'm looking at my own thing. And we can actually see a little email where Rosaries, if I'm saying that name right, I still don't know, had emailed when she first signed up for interest in ambassador. We'll talk more about that in a minute, won't we, Dr. J, about ambassadors and evangelists. But yeah, so in the lead portion of the farm work, this is where we can kind of see all the different conversations going on in an organization. Of course, this is for us. You can see a list of different things. I just typed in my name because I didn't want to show other people's, you can have my email. You guys are okay to email me. I didn't want to show anybody else's. But yeah, so whether that's, in this case, it's just an email, but we can also have phone numbers attached to this. So if we wanted to text somebody, we could literally do that. Or if it's a direct message from a social media account, someone sent a message, we can reply here. So it consolidates all these different ways to lead or communicate with your followers, your business, connections, whatever the case may be, whoever's in your particular account. And you can see here, there's a way to go in and schedule an appointment with an individual. You can, if it's a sales type of opportunity in your particular organization, obviously be business related. That's what that would be related to, creating an opportunity. Like I want to sell myself on some great product I have. I can assign a task to maybe Dr. J to follow up or do whatever from here and just create notes and stuff like that. So it's got a little bit of a CRM functionality within just this conversation tab, just a quick way to, be able to not only keep control of conversations in one place, but also do some other activities off of that. So that's just a quick overview of the lead portion of the farm work. And for those that are scholarship folks like Jonathan, he has access to be able to utilize this for his business. And of course, those other partners that we have, which Jonathan is an Abraham. And then we have our Davids, which is our ministries that we partner with. And we also have our Josephs, which will be just regular businesses as well. So that is a little bit about the farm work. And beyond that, if anybody ever has a question about that, we actually have in the community, once again, farm work Q&A. So whether you are actively using the farm work and you're like, hey, I need help with this, you can ask something there. Or if you just have a general question like, what's this about? You can always go into the 70 and check that out. All right, Jay.
Yeah. Yep.
Back to you, buddy.
Yeah, I would say too, to help people wrap their minds around this, whether you've seen the website, whether you've had any type of communications, everything is facilitated through what Mark just showed you. So for anybody that's watching this recording later on, or you watching live right now, that kind of, when you're thinking about, well, how does this fit with what I'm doing, or thinking about capabilities, if you had some type of communication with us, if you've seen something on the website, there's a good chance that 99.99% of it was facilitated through what Mark just showed you, which I think is very powerful. Even people who have seen maybe some of our social media posts as well. All of that stuff is tracked and facilitated through this wonderful farm work. So I'm going to cover briefly again, talking about the ambassador role. We have a global influencer, global ambassador role, global influencer role, and then an entrepreneur in residence. Like, what is all that about? Well, we have this community that we're building. It's a community of like-minded individuals, whether they be in ministry or some type of entrepreneur, or you just love people. It really doesn't matter. Those individuals flow into what we call the 70. And on the global ambassador side, that's normally individuals who they're really good with people. They love to connect with others. They're friendly inviters, that type of thing. Those individuals would be a global ambassador, connecting with just different people that they may already know and just inviting them into the 70. And we'll just keep that as an overarching basic view. Now, obviously, as a global ambassador, there's all types of things that you can get involved in and participate in within the community. But just as a general overview, that's what those people typically look like. Your global influencers are more what we call our evangelists. Not that they're not good with people, but they have a leaning towards sales. They're very charismatic, influential. They love a good deal. They love to help people find a good deal, that type of stuff, right? Those are going to be your global influencers. They're going to be the individuals that are also going out. They would also meet people as well within their network. And they're really trying to help find best fit for our farm work, skills and capabilities, that type of thing, which is another fun role, just in my own opinion. And then you have what we call our entrepreneur in residence. A lot of times, the entrepreneur in residence, you already have a business, you're already making some type of impact, and you want to do more. You're looking for ways to partner or to expand your impact or your reach. And that could be done, facilitated through a number of ways. One could just be using your network. You have a network that you want to bring into the 70, and you want to partner with us to create some type of a course to facilitate discipleship that way. Or you may be more in just a leadership role through support, through prayer, giving guidance. There's all type of things that the founder in residence role, that particular person can do within SheepFeast. But as I put a kind of bow around this, it all goes back to this. This is not a typical 9 to 5. Yes, you can partner with us and you can earn and have a residual income that would continue to pay you as long as you're connected with SheepFeast. But at the end of the day, we're here about impact, and we want to really partner with you and see, how do you think you best fit? What can you bring to the table to either assist in something that we're doing, or tell us about what you're doing, and maybe we can find something that we can also assist, because this is a family, this is a community, and we want people to feel like they're at home. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this orientation. It keeps everybody up to date on what's going on at all points in time. Also, there's a community, and I would love to see other people's faces. Post something about what you're doing. Say something very encouraging. We all need encouragement. I need encouragement too. And I think we have about 25 people or so in the community so far. We've just started this thing, but we really, really, really want to know what's on your heart. We don't want to just keep talking or putting out content, but we want to know what you believe that God has gifted you to do as well. So, Mark, kick it back over to you.
Amen. Question, follow-up question. So, obviously there's, like you said, there's people in the group that have expressed interest in different, potentially working in different areas. Say they're an ambassador or an evangelist. What would be, they're already in the group. They've been, um, if they haven't already, they'll have a affiliate link, right? They can share, and that's one way they can earn, right? Is when people sign up to be a farm work user, that goes to them. At least part of it does. Um, what would be a first step for someone that's already in the 70s? Say, hey, what do I do next now that maybe I'm an ambassador, or I'm interested in doing more as an ambassador, evangelist, or influencer?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, number one, hopefully everybody that has come in has taken that free course, that orientation course. That would be your first step to complete that. Number two is connect with us, reach out to us, and let us speak, talk with you, and see how you best fit. Because I could sit here and tell you, like, hey, um, we want you to post on social media every day, or we want you to do this or that, but we really want to figure out how has God gifted you and crafted you, and let's have a conversation on how we feel like you can best fit, and then we just go from there.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, if you're in the community, there's the chat function, right? You could either just message one of us at any time, and yeah, if you want to set up a deeper dive and like how you could be involved in the next level. This is a good time for any other questions, and of course, you could either drop them in the chat or just raise your hand or whatever, interrupt. It doesn't really matter. This is not the UN or anything. This is just us getting together, gathering. And so Jonathan asked if he's free to invite other African entrepreneurs and individuals to Sheep Feast. And that is 100% yes. So the very first thing, Jonathan, which I'll go ahead and pop in the chat, is this is of course the link to the 70. That's the best way to get people, and just start there, right? Get them to the free community. And if they are a potential scholarship attendee, that would be, we could go from there, right? So that's across the board, right? Whether they're in Africa, or it doesn't really matter if they're in a developing country or not. Anybody that that's either business, ministry, or anywhere in between, that they're have a heart for making disciples, invite them to the 70. Because like we've mentioned multiple times, we're just getting started. We're going to have just different folks coming by. It won't just always be me and Jay yapping at you. We'll have other people yap at you. And maybe some of you too. Like I said already, Jonathan. And we want this to be a forum where people can share openly as well. Some days it might be a little more structured because we have a guest that's going to present and things of that nature. But yeah, like I said, Jonathan, definitely get them in the 70. Tell them about that. And then one of the things that Jay's already mentioned that I'll just reiterate, as a part of the 70, we definitely covet your interactions and like what you have to offer, as far as like if you see something that speaks to you, you're doing your daily devos and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Just, it doesn't have to be like a big old post or whatever. Drop it in the Barnabas briefs, or if you just have some information, put in the announcements. It's supposed to be an open forum for us just to help one another and to support the journey that we're all on. Awesome. Any other things that popped into someone's mind, question or just a comment, or they want to talk about?
I have one.
Okay.
Mark, just so people understand, basically we practice what we preach. Can you speak to some of the people that we've already connected with as far as the panel is concerned, and
Yeah.
some things that maybe our viewers can look forward to attending?
Yeah, definitely. So let me go ahead and pull up our events as well that are on the horizon. So beyond, like I said, it's not just going to be us. Actually, in a couple weeks, we will have the illustrious Ron Brumbarker, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him last year. He's done a lot in the space of like business mentorship and apprenticeship, and he's actually a teaching at a Christian university in Indiana in that same realm. And so he's got a lot of wisdom. He's been a successful entrepreneur in multiple types of things, and so that's coming up in a couple weeks. And then we've got in March the Rooted Network. And so the Rooted Network, if you're not familiar with them, it's actually was started out of a larger church in Southern California. I believe it's called Mariners Church. And so they have their own um, curriculum. Let's see, Rooted Experience. Let's see if it'll come up. I think their website's called the Rooted Experience Rooted. I had it backwards, folks. Um, so they have a lot of great materials already, and so they're going to be doing the panel where we'll have a two or three of their own folks come on specifically speak about some discipleship um, issues or solutions and all that. We're really leaving it to them. They're the experts. They've obviously created a lot of great um, materials that lots of churches use throughout the U.S. and maybe beyond. So we'll learn more about them as well. But yeah, so those are the couple of the other folks that will be joining us, and I'm sure between now and then too, we may have some people just pop in as we're always talking to folks, and having an opportunity to meet new people is great, and finding out what they're doing and for the Lord and His kingdom. And then we have another one scheduled, hopefully I believe it would be, I think it's July. We don't have it on it's not calendar yet, but the sneak peek is you may read their stuff every single day. It's a U version. So the main Bible app that most people are familiar with, we're tentatively having them come on as well. So it's some really great folks that are doing amazing things for God in different parts of His kingdom, and definitely have a discipleship focus as well. Jonathan, you had your hand up. What else? What you got?
Okay, thank you, Mark. I want to just mention that for the people we have in the community, like a way of trying to get them engaged. So if it's possible for maybe yourself and Dr. J to reach out to them one-on-one, I think that would actually encourage them to join calls. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, thanks for the the advice. We can definitely do that. Yeah, appreciate that. We want to have as many people click in and be a part of it, and so yeah, one-on-one conversations. Whether we reach out to we're always, like I said before, if we have that chat feature in there, so anybody in the community could chat us directly as well. So if something pops up that you don't want to necessarily post to everybody, I'm gonna do that as well. So thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, we're accessible.
Yeah, we're not trying to hide from you. Good stuff. So awesome. For the most part, I think we covered what we needed to. Anybody, I did want to know, am I saying your name right, Rosaries, or am I way off?
No, you're actually saying it correct. But most people call me Rose though.
All right, yeah. I mean, I saw that in there, so but Rose, appreciate that. I was
Yeah.
hoping I wasn't like butchering the heck out of it.
No. Trust me, everybody calls me the same way. There's different ways to say it because it's a Spanish name. But
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool.
what I was gonna say, so I'm really good at like creating websites and like social media and stuff like that. I'm not sure where I could incorporate myself in this. So
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, well, we love folks that do that kind of stuff, so we'd be glad to like have a further conversation later, Rosaries. But
yes, definitely.
yeah, that would be cool. And see how potentially we could team up one way or the other. And so you're Spanish. What's my wife is half Colombian. So
Mhm.
where's your background from?
My mom and my dad are both from the Dominican Republic.
Nice. All right. Good stuff.
Cool.
Glad to
Really
have
beautiful.
Dominican represented on some level here today.
For sure, for sure. God is everywhere.
That's right. That's right. Very cool. Yeah, thanks for jumping in and telling us a little bit about yourself, Rose. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And
Definitely, I was going to say we're definitely looking to connecting with you further because we just we just love people. We want them to feel like they have a home here and fit in. So yeah, just reach out to us on the chat or via email or whatever, and then we'll set up some next steps to kind of speak with you and see how we can work together.
Definitely, definitely. I'm looking forward for it, for
All
sure.
right. Excellent. Oh, and everyone, so I slash we, Mark and I, we started something called the Furnace. So what the Furnace is basically executive coaching uh, by myself. I've had 20 plus years experience as an entrepreneur and managing a whole bunch of money and all this other stuff, but I've dealt with so many different business leaders and help other people grow and scale their businesses, and I've seen so many do's and don'ts. And so I'm actually in the group called the Furnace or the channel. I'm sharing some of those things that I've learned over time, and they're all free. So Jonathan, that may be something good for people that you invite to kind of tune into. Just going to be little nuggets there. And for people that may want a more structured one-on-one, we can have a conversation on what that may look like. But all that stuff in the Furnace is free. So you guys that's watching live, join the 70 and get involved in something, whether it be prayer or the Furnace or whatever, marketing, rosaries, whatever.
yeah, we got a
We
lot of
just want you to feel like you belong.
the furnace is we got a lot of good talked about having names. Like there's so much fun names that we have tied to that. You ready for the furnace or get fired in the furnace. I mean, there's just an unending amount of things that we can do play on words. And that's a big part of what we do around here. So we're gonna go walk through the fire with Dr. J. All right.
Yep.
Good stuff. Well, let's finish this up with some prayer. If we don't have anything else that anybody wants to share at this time, we'll kind of close out. And Dr. J, can you help us
Luke
with
has
that?
something.
Just a question. Um, you talk about a lot of different things, and you see the white things here, brings that are not the generation that grow with those platform,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to repeat. Maybe if that takes time, are those are how do we have to access those platform and because for me, I'm looking, but I'm a little bit lost in the middle of it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so being practical help us, at me at least, to know what we have to do, where we have to go, and what we can do, and which way we can be involved. So, the practical way you did it before, and that was good. So, so encourage you to take
Yeah.
more time. It's not obvious for us, for
Yeah, for
me
sure.
at least.
And
Thank you.
did you receive you saw the email for this, right? There was I guess I tagged everybody, so I think everybody would have gotten a message in their email about today's call. Did you get that okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And just to kind of clarify, now did you go in like if we're looking at like we're being practical, obviously, and where you're jumping in, did you access through the email, or did you go over here to like events and go like click on that? What was your experience today?
I clicked through the email today,
The email, okay.
but
So
I
yeah,
have a page open in my computer where I have all the others. So I'm yes, but I don't see exactly what you see. Obviously, you have more network.
okay, yeah. So this is obviously back on the 70, which right, like if you, this is the link here at the top, right? And I did put it in the chat for those that are here, that you can re-access. So sometimes, you know, if you're people sign up and they get the initial access, and then the, you know, just like with anything, you might forget your password or lose it or whatever. You know, if you need to reset the password to get back into, even if you just go to, I believe if you just go to
Yeah, that works
flocks.sheepfeast.com,
too.
yeah, you'll get, that'll be where you can log in. Of
Yeah,
course, this is
that's what I
just kind
have.
of blank right here, but you
Yeah.
can see that you can get, also look at the notifications and see, like for me, I have different communities. Um, and so I could pop over there. That's probably not the best way to do it because it doesn't have a direct link to the 70. It does tell
Okay.
me that, hey, we're doing, it's because I clicked on that. That's why. Um, but yeah, so, um, but that link there, the 70, will take you to here where you can get in and find the different channels. And if you guys are having anything where you're like, I don't see that, or whatever, just let us know. Yeah, we can help you out from there.
Thanks.
All right, cool. All right, Jay, pray us